Welcome to iLecture Online. In this video, we're going to show you how to find the area of a parallelogram using the cross product. But first, let's get a visual sense of what's going on here. So here, with the solid black lines, we've drawn a parallelogram. The length of the top and bottom edge of the parallelogram, let's call that equal to L, and this is the length of the side of the parallelogram, let's call it S, and that would of course be S on both sides, so we can write one there as well. And then the height of the parallelogram can be defined by this dashed line right here. And then we have an angle between the side on the left side and the bottom side right there. We'll call that theta. Now notice that if we were to cut this little piece off and take that little piece and move it over here, we would then turn the parallelogram into a rectangle, which we've drawn right here with the solid lines. The dashed lines represent the original parallelogram. So you can see here that the area of this rectangle would therefore be equal to the area of this parallelogram. Now the area of a rectangle will be equal to the length times the width. In this case, we have L times H, H representing the width of that rectangle. So the question now is, how do we find the area of the parallelogram? Well, that means we need to find the value for H. And taking a look at this triangle right here, we can see that H is equal to the hypotenuse, which is S, times the sine of the angle theta. So let's write that down. So we can see that H is equal to the side S times the sine of theta. Now, the next thing we're going to do is, well, first of all, you can see here that the area of the rectangle then would become this. This would become equal to the length times H, which is S, times the sine of theta. Now that gives us an idea when we think about the cross product. Now what if we draw a vector from this point right here and make the length of that vector equal to the length of the parallelogram? So let's call this the vector, how about A? And then we have another vector, we draw it along the side over here, the same as the length of that vector will be the length of the side, and let's call that vector B. So what will we get now if we execute the cross product A cross B? So we have A cross B. Well, that would be equal to, well, we don't really want the resultant of the cross product. We actually want the magnitude of that resultant. So we put absolute value signs around it, and then what we get is that this becomes equal to the magnitude of A times the magnitude of B times the sine of the angle between the two. And notice, the sine of the angle would be the sine of this angle right here, sine of theta. A represents the length of this side, which is L. So then, let me use black color here. So this is equal to L times B, which is the length of the side over here, which is S, times the sine of theta. And of course, we already know that S times the sine of theta, well, that's equal to H. So this is equal to L times H, which of course is equal to the area of the rectangle, which represents the same area of the kitty. So here you can see that you have now the area of the rectangle, which can be written as LS sine theta, which is the same as the area of the parallelogram, and you can see that you get the same result when you take the magnitude of the cross product. So that's a really good way to find the area of parallelogram, especially if the points of the parallelogram are positioned somewhere in three-dimensional space. And we're going to show you some real examples of that later, so you can see how you actually employ that. But in a simplistic planar format, this is why taking the cross product of two vectors representing the two sides of parallelogram, and then taking the absolute value of that, meaning the magnitude of that, gives you the area of that parallelogram. And that's how it's done. Stupid cat.